What comes up for you when I say the word attachment? I'll let you sit with that for a moment because it's a complex word that points to a lot of places. Here, right now, with me and Ambika sitting here, it came up because a lot of coaches feel very attached to their clients' results, success, the outcome of the coaching. We don't want to feel detached, right? There's this Buddhist idea of non-attachment, where, as far as I understand it in the context of coaching, it's really helpful because it allows us to not be overly involved in the client, but also not detached. It means we can passionately care about what's going to happen as a result of our work, but we're not attached to it, which means we don't think that we can control it. Maybe we can positively influence it in some way, and we want to influence it positively in some way, but not by taking charge or control or being arrogant enough to think that we can actually change things. It's the client who needs to change things, right? So if we become overly attached, that can be a really problem. It can be in the way when the coach works harder than the client. I think it's a problem, right? Not necessarily, but it's certainly a problem for how the coach feels in that space. I don't think we do our best work when we're too attached. And then there's a whole nother foundation to attachment, which is the attachment styles that we formed when we were young children. So depending on how our primary caregivers and the people around us treated us, how safe or how anxious we felt, it has tremendous effects and impact on the way that we are and show up in our relationships. Not just how we feel, but also how we act and what's going on in our bodies, the kind of thoughts that cross our minds. And given that so many coaches work relationally, as we're sharing a space, we're in relation with someone, there's complex psychological dynamics that are involved when we are in relationships. And when we coach someone, the relationship between coach and client, all of these dynamics that the client brings from other relationships they have in their lives, they tend to show up in the coaching space. If we're able to pick them up, if we're able to observe them, if we've trained our ear and our eye and our senses to notice that, here's a dynamic that is unfamiliar to me in relationships. There seems to be something about this particular relationship with this coachee that brings that out. Is that a mirrored process? Is that a parallel from some of the other relationships or from their organizational system or the cultural system that's showing up between me and him or her or them right now here? That's something we can work with. So on that note, I'm also super excited because attachment is a psychological framework and body of work that has really influenced our next coaching lab guest. If you listen to this in April 2025, you'll able to see her live on the first Tuesday of May, because she's very much informed by people's attachment styles and how they show up in their relationships. And that's what she brings into her work in coaching. So I'm really excited to see her actually do the work and then make links between practice and the theory around attachment. And we get to ask her questions, right? If you listen to this later, then there's very good chance that there'll be a recording of it where we debrief and analyze how she's coached and how attachment, the psychology around attachment styles has informed what she asks and how she is in the coaching space. So yeah, I'm excited about that. And interesting topic. I'm glad that we could reflect on it a little bit, and curious about your thoughts. And maybe you'll join us in the lab.